Hey everyone, we're looking today at an app called Restaurant Expense Manager. It's a very simple app that, as the name suggests, allows you to track your expenses that are related to, food and restaurant and breakfast and anything else related. First of all, why would you keep track of your restaurant expenses? Well, in several countries, luckily including in mine, you can deduct, even if you're an individual, you can deduct some of your expenses because, well, you pay tax on an income, and I feel it's fair that you should be able to deduct from that income expenses you had for the purpose of, getting that income. So if your country doesn't allow that, maybe you should send a letter to your government and ask that. In the meantime, let's take a look at this app. It's a very simple app, simple interface. What you have is a list of places. Then for each place you can define a list of bills, meaning how much you spent on a particular dinner, then add items that are on the menu of that restaurant to be able to add them to your bill, and categorize those items. Of course, you'll still be able to see statistics and change some other settings, which we'll take a look at later. But let's go home to the dashboard. This is the dashboard, and by default it shows the list of places you've added. So let's try and add a new one, a new restaurant. Let's say Subway, a famous sandwich place. You can set currency and say when you last visited, how many bills you had, and how much you paid. You can edit the place or delete it if you want, but now we'll go here to add an item. So let's say I had a large sandwich, on their menu there's a large sandwich which costs €3. It's a meal type. Then let's add a new item and call it beer, like that. The shortcut, it's a type of beer. I forgot to add the price. Let's say the €2 one. We'll add a new one called coffee, which is €1, and it's here. Right, so now we can define a new bill. Say we went for breakfast. You can write anything in here in the bill title, just say what date it was, on the 24th. And the default tip, well, a bit cheap, let's put 10%. And this is how the bill looks like now. It's empty. You can add items to it. So let's add the beer, let's add the coffee, and a sandwich. Once you're on the bill page, you can also multiply the number of items. Say you slide from left to right and it will increase the number. I'm drunk, okay, but let's say I have 4 sandwiches. You see the price increasing here, and it also includes the tip, and that's pretty much it on the bill. You can go home and see how many bills I have for each of the places I visited. So if you have a list of favorite ones, you can add all of them, define the items they have that you usually choose, and then it's simple to add new bills. You'll also be able to see statistics. A lot of them choose a particular date, or see all the time. Choose the currency, but right now it's not I only added euro once. Then you can see spending by time. You have it defined here, a lot of graphics. You scroll and you see bills by time. Then you can see spending by the place you went to, bills by the place, and so on. So you have quite some statistics to play with if you want to look at the end of a month or after several visits to see how much you spent, how many beers you drank. If that. But this is good, I told you, in case you want to keep track of your expenses for deduction purposes, if you're lucky enough to be able to deduct those. You have a settings window where you can change various things, like I don't know what format you use for the date, the default tip percentage, then you know how to sort the places and the items. You can use shortcut for the items, you know, to speed up adding them, and change various bill settings, even change the theme. Most important, you can back up your data in case, you know, something happens with your phone, and password protect access to the app. I mean, they have a free version. But unfortunately that only lets you add 5 bills for each in total. So if you want to continue using it more than 5 bills, which usually happens, then you'll have to upgrade to the Pro version, and that's only 99 cents. So it's cheaper than half of a beer, or who knows in what country you live in, but usually it's cheap enough to worth buying it. So if you like the app and want to be able to keep track of your restaurant expenses, then give it a try. Thank you for watching, and be sure you leave your comment if you tested this app.